Hey there, just a small update. Last video, I was this morning over here on Bainbridge Island, and I was on my way into work on the ferry, and the ferry was on a one ferry service status, and there's generally two that run, and they really only run about a half hour or so apart. But this one of them apparently there was needed some engine repair, so it was taken out of service, and that was at, I don't know what time it was this morning, maybe 7:30. When I was there at the terminal, and the next one wasn't going to be really pretty much available for at least a couple hours. So I opted to just stay on the island, and I was able to work actually, and I actually did manage a 5 hours billable, which had I gone on that next ferry and gone into work, I would have only had, by the time I got there, I would have only been able to work just about 5 hours. So I saved myself the commute, the time on the commute, and got the hours anyway. Now I'm back over here where I stayed again, I stayed last night, where I've actually stayed the last few nights, on the other side of the island, kind of. And I don't really love staying in the same place like that, if I can help it, especially for, been here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is my third night in a row here, and I don't love that. I try to be a little bit more incognito. I like to vary my movements, but I feel pretty safe here, and I don't think anybody, I don't get the sense that anybody feels like I'm being a problem here. And the reason I came over here is because my other locations in the Winslow kind of area, we've got more rain. That's kind of actually why I hit record, because wind and rain, and I was just getting blasted, and it was rocking the van, and you could really hear the wind. I have my vent actually partially open because I'm running the heater, my propane heater, and you could just hear the wind. It was just whirring. It was so loud. And I thought I was going to continue, so I hit record, because it's very intense, but then it died down. You can still kind of hear it. It's kind of picking up again right now. But yeah, this wind and rain is just insane. This weather that we've been getting, all of this flooding in Western Washington, it's not really affecting Bainbridge Island too much. Just in terms of there's really no like rivers to flood. The water just goes directly out into the sound, drains out into the sound. So the threat of flooding is not really that that bad over here. It's actually a pretty safe place to be, which is kind of why I came over here. I do typically come over here on weekends anyway, but it definitely makes sense to be here right now. And the one kind of thing though that is a danger over here is these windstorms and the trees coming down, and I don't really feel especially safe driving out on the roads while we're having these high winds. And it's back again tonight, these windstorms, and it really wasn't that bad in town where I was. I call it town, it's Winslow. There's also Poulsbo, which is another town that I go to on Kitsap Peninsula, but also not all that far away. But I spent the day in Winslow, and it wasn't, but my weather app was saying that it was going to be high winds throughout the day, and I wasn't feeling that. The winds didn't feel that bad earlier. The rain was pretty bad, and I almost wonder if that isn't because of, contrast that with where I am right now, and I'm back over here. I'm on the water. I have a sort of southern exposure to the water here, and this wind is coming right up off of the water here from the southwest, and I'm just getting pummeled by the wind. And where I was is there's a lot more tree cover, and there's places where you're kind of buffered from the wind, but at the same time, I didn't want to stay down there tonight because it's under trees, and I would have preferred to be under trees right now, only because the trees do offer protection. You don't get slammed so much from the rain or the wind, really, and it's kind of quieter and just cozier. There's a place I like to stay that it really feels like camping. Well, this feels like camping too, in a different sort of a sense, but I am worried about falling trees and limbs, and nothing over there where I would have wanted to stay. Nothing has fallen yet over there, so I probably would have been fine. I've stayed in that general area before during windstorms like this, but it can be a nervous thing, and it's also possible the winds have really picked up just in general compared to what it was earlier, and what I'm experiencing here could be the same thing over there. So I do like it over here because there's not necessarily anything, trees over me that are gonna like fall on me or have falling like limbs and debris and stuff. Previous videos kind of show the area here. Although I am actually a little bit concerned about this power line and this or whatever you call it, and telephone sort of power. There's a pole like back here that's actually a little bit taller than I thought. And I was seeing, as I pulled in just now, the wires were really, is swaying a little bit, and you could get a down power line and have a real bad issue. So that's actually kind of puts me a little bit on edge to think about, and now that I'm thinking about that, I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't have just stayed in Winslow, of course. But anyway, I'm back here again. Crazy weather, crazy rain, crazy wind. All of this flooding in Western Washington it's been raining like this again since yesterday. The rain has picked back up again, and we still have several days left of this. You're not out of this by any stretch, and it's a real tragedy. There actually has been now a confirmed fatality in the flooding that's happened here in Western Washington, and it's not going to be getting any better anytime soon. So this is kind of an intense time in the region here, and it's making a lot of hardships on a lot of people, and it's also making van life quite a challenge to get through. I was wondering too about that ferry being out of service like that this morning. I almost wonder if it wasn't because of the weather that happened, because the ferries really have to they have to work extra hard to kind of ply these really rough waters and high winds, and man, you could easily burn out an engine. I'm just thinking about an example of car. Engine can easily fail if it's being overworked. And so I almost wonder if it didn't have something to do with the weather. Apparently now it's back in service, which is a good thing. So I'm going to get up early tomorrow and try this whole thing again tomorrow, and hopefully I can make it into work tomorrow. And that's just where I am right now. If anything else comes up throughout the night, I will check back in. But until then, blessings be.